If you think about it, there is more than $300 billion really just going into infrastructure CapEx. There's $40 billion, like you said, just being invested into ChatGPT,
Yeah.
Anthropic, etc. I can see a single founder then looking at insights, creating copy, creating creative, and running a 100 crore brand.
Welcome to Flamcast, a space where we dive into everything marketing, mixed reality, and the future of creating unforgettable brand experiences. Today we have Goody Narayana, VP and Head of International Marketing at Coursera. She carries over 2 decades of work experience and have been scaling marketing efforts for brands like GSK, P&G, and Disney Hotstar. In today's episode, our discussion will center around AI and marketing. We will talk about how AI fits in the marketing stack, how AI can help in brand building, and how marketer can use AI in one or more ways, and plethora of topics around AI and marketing. Welcome to the show, goodies. We are really happy to have you at Flamcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited to talk about AI and how AI is transforming marketing. We have been hearing about AI even more after the launch of ChatGPT.
Absolutely.
What was your first interaction with AI, and did you think that it will change the way we are doing marketing today?
Absolutely. To be honest, if you are a marketer today, I mean, you cannot ignore the wave of AI. It's everywhere around you. If you think about it, there is more than $300 billion really just going into infrastructure CapEx. There's $40 billion, like you said, just being invested into ChatGPT,
Yeah.
Anthropic, etc. The other day, I was talking to someone, and these middleware tools, Replit, Lovable, you have non-techies today just building like pros. Marketers in my own team, I saw this. So, plethora of tools available today.
Yeah.
You want to create a concept, there's Midjourney. You want to create the concept into really getting into a creative, there's Canva Studio there. When you look at amplification, you're putting it on Google PMax or Advantage Plus. So, if you're a marketer, you have so many tools available which are optimizing different parts of the journey. AI is very hard to ignore. But I would say personally, the biggest aha came for me at Coursera. Uh, Previously at Coursera, we were thinking of, we actually recently expanded our content translations
Okay.
to more than 17 languages and 5,000 pieces of content.
Super.
In the previous world, this would have taken millions of dollars and a couple of years to come through.
Yeah.
This all happened in 3 months.
Oh my God.
And this was at the back of ML translations.
Okay.
And the translations, the dub quality in some instances with lip sync, you could not tell. Even when we were taking this launch campaign to market, some of the concepts that the team generated, I could not tell which was human, which were not. And later, when we ran PMax campaigns, we saw much better results than actually traditional campaigns. So when it all came together, that was my aha moment to say that, okay, externally, internally, AI is just hard to ignore.
Yeah, I think it's been fascinating to see how AI is changing from just being a buzzword to a real game changer nowadays.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We all have seen as marketers the wave of mobile, social media, influencer wave. How do you see the AI wave different in terms of effect and impact?
For sure. To be honest, AI wave has been much bigger than the waves that we've actually seen before. And it's fundamentally, and it's not just a channel or a trend.
Yeah.
It's actually fundamentally how people are thinking, operating, executing. Now, I'll give you an example, right? You must have seen ChatGPT took 100 million users very rapidly in less than a month, in just 2 months, actually, not a month, in less than 2 months. For context, Facebook took 54 months to actually get there. And then you really see that how, and TikTok about 12 months, if I'm not mistaken. But if you really see the way of AI, the adoption has been much faster than any of the tools before. Now, what is changing is that when the last waves actually happened, marketers were not prepared. We did not know how to react. We took a longer time to adjust than we do now. This time, we
Yeah.
don't have the excuse. Right now, CMOs already need to start thinking about getting their data in shape, getting that right data stack, building AI champions, leading experimentation, and not waiting for a 2-year roadmap. We need to move faster because we know this can happen, and it's happening at a much faster pace than what we've actually seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, I think AI is leveling up the playing field further after mobile and social
Absolutely.
media a wave
Absolutely.
that have come in. But social media and mobile has also given a lot of voice to the smaller brands, which was not there at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's fascinating to see how each wave reinforces invention and a lot more thinking.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, brands today, brand building has changed so much, right?
Yeah.
Brand building used to be so linear that you would put an ad on television, people would consume it, and
Yeah.
that's how you did brand building.
Okay.
Today, brand building happens on social media.
Yeah.
Brand building happens through experiences. Brand building happens at a very personalized level. So I completely agree with you that those waves were very meaningful to change marketing. This wave will basically fundamentally not change how marketing is done. In a way, it will just make it be more simpler. Marketers will be able to make more intelligent decisions moving forward.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of, I've seen that, I've spoken to a lot of people, there's a lot of confusion between AI, generative AI,
Yes, yeah.
and automation.
Yes.
Can you please tell us by explaining the difference between all three that we have in place and how marketing can use them effectively in day to day work?
Sure. So if you think of AI as using data to learn patterns and make smarter decisions. In simple words, AI is just using large patterns of data, learning patterns, and helping you make smarter decisions.
Okay.
Now, when you look at generative AI, it's that branch of AI which actually does creation. So it can help you create images, it can help you create text, it can help you create videos, etc. So generative AI is a branch of AI actually that helps you with creation.
Absolutely.
And then if you take a look at automation, automation is about automating repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
For example, it could be emails that you're automating or generation of reports, etc., that you're automating. So it all comes together. So AI will help you with insights, learning patterns, and generative AI will actually help you with creation. And then in terms of execution, automation can help you automate those tasks and just move more efficiently.
I think it clarifies so many things for me myself.
Yeah, this is another branch of what's ML and everything. So I thought I'll just keep it very simple
Yeah.
for
So
people
it
to get
feels
it.
like generative AI is for creativity at
Absolutely.
scale.
Absolutely.
And automation is more for grunt work.
Well, you could say that. But automation would also lead to a lot of efficiency.
Yeah.
And again, and we'll talk about it further, but it's not going to completely. Marketers also need to be smart about what you want to automate and what you do not want to automate.
To keep the human element.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
And I think the human judgment is very important. There are many tasks which can be automated. You must have seen how when Adobe Firefly launched their latest, it was such a buzz in the market that at the trigger you can have contexts, creatives can be generated. So yes, automation at every scale is now possible. For some marketers, in some loops of their funnel, automation may not make sense when you really want to have human loop as well. So
Sure.
the idea will be, how do you automate for efficiency, but keep human insight for precision at some times as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Now coming to, like you said, that you have to keep the human element alive.
Yes.
Now coming to the fear about job displacement.
Yep.
When the AI has come in, there's a lot of fear about how AI is going to replace the human. And should we position AI as a competitor or an enabler?
As I see it, AI is not going to replace marketers.
Okay.
But marketers probably who use AI better will be replaced by the ones
other
who
marketers.
do not. So, look, AI is really here to help you move faster, think smarter, make better decisions quicker. But the human gut, when it comes to insight and especially creative intuition, is not really going anywhere anytime soon.
So all the brand's storytelling will always remain with human, then with AI.
It's about complementary behavior. Now, let me just give you an example, right? Today, a brand manager can use AI to analyze large patterns of data and insights very quickly. Now, in traditional research, it would have taken a long time to do so. But you can see data, but how do you interpret insight out of that data is again very human.
Yeah.
Now, once you have that insight, you can mock up the concept today very quickly. I mean,
Yes.
you don't need to wait for a week, get an external agency or sit with, longer time just gets shorter.
Correct.
But then at the same time, when you go into qualitative research, for example,
Yeah.
that value of human feedback will always be priceless.
Okay.
Even in creative generation, if you think about it, today you can create a video completely out of AI. You must have seen the examples. They've really been viral as well. But at the end of the day, I feel that, relevance, human insight is very hard to replace. So I would say it's complementary. Like use AI to get insights faster, mock up, concepts, and you could even change the tone of voices, really personalize your experiences when it comes to brand building. But the human intuition is here to stay. It's not really going anywhere.
Sure. So when you talk about that, AI is not going to replace the job, but the person who knows how to use AI can replace the job
Yes,
for you.
absolutely.
So how can a marketer cultivate an understanding of AI capabilities and limitation to ask better prompt and get better results?
Understand. So I think first of all, a marketer, there are certain basic things that you need to understand, right? The questions you are asking. What is really generative AI? What is AI?
Yeah.
And that's really fundamentally just start with the basics to understand these. Then secondly, now, yes, you can also make yourself smarter with really being better with prompt engineering, right? And that's what everyone's really doing at the moment. At the same time, marketers can really educate themselves into intersections of where AI is very helpful in their work. For example, there is a plethora of tools today available. Now, not everything might be relevant for you,
Okay.
but there are plethora of tools available. Just to name a few, right? I mean, if you're looking into insights at larger scales, there's BrandWatch that's available. If you are looking into creative generation, as we were talking about, there's a Canva Studio that's available. You want to get into performance marketing, there's a PMax, there's a Meta Advantage Plus, etc. So there are a lot of tools available. You need to know what's available and then have the judgment to see where you're going to use where. Don't become frantic and start being everything AI, I would say. Be smarter about where you think you can incorporate that into your workflows. ChatGPT, right? We were just talking about it. Even just coming up with a discussion these days or even writing an email, a lot of people are using ChatGPT at the end of the day. But be smarter about where you want your personal touch and where do you really see AI fitting into your workflows would be my advice to marketers.
Yeah. So you talked about performance marketing. We have been seeing the use of AI in performance marketing, automation in performance marketing from a really long time. Now, there's an underrated potential. Like, where do you see AI fitting more and have a bigger impact? Is it brand strategy? Is it consumer optimizing the customer journey, making it more personalized? Where do you see it will have a better impact?
That's a great question because you rightfully said that performance marketing has been has been ahead of a curve in terms of how AI has been incorporated, be it bidding, be it optimizing, etc. Right? But I really feel that the potential lies in the rest of the stack, which has been unexplored today. I recently was at a conference and I saw this example of an FMCG brand which used AI to develop an app for inclusivity for their visually impaired audience. So the app was actually using voice prompts, then helping you navigate aisles, helping you read labels, taking you to the checkout counter, etc. And this is just experiential at the end of the day. If you take a look at the Coke example of really personalized, sort of gamification and content creation, that's another example. So I feel like experiential is one where it's a little undertapped. But if you also think about it, I mean, AI tools are available at different parts of the journey. Today in e-commerce companies, I mean, you can now try a costume online. It's now being enabled at the back of AI-based tools. Or if you go to a beauty company, you can actually have shade mapping at your fingertips. And this is really usually a pain point for consumers wherein I want to go to the retail store and try something on. Yes, the trial. And there used to be apps before to try, but now the level of personalization, customization is just different.
Absolutely.
So I would say there are many more possibilities. Even in terms of brand reputation risks, if you think about it, there are now tools available which are much more proactive and you can manage your brand risks better. So there are many possibilities, I feel, yet to be explored beyond performance marketing.
So you spoke about personalization. So personalization at scale also feels robotic sometimes.
Yes, yes.
So, so
Yeah.
is there any way to inject more human element in personalization when it
Sure.
comes from AI as well?
Sure. Look, at the end of the day, AI can help you get hyper localized in terms of insights. But then, how do you use that cultural nuance to build your creatives, and how you train AI, if you're using AI to build those creatives with cultural nuance, is actually up to you. Now you can take that creative and translate that into different languages very quickly, right?
Yeah.
You don't need that. But then that insight was actually more personalized. So I would say AI is helping you build personalized experiences, but you as a marketer need to have that element to know and train AI well to know the cultural nuances, or you should know the cultural nuances better to not lose that touch, is how I feel it all coming together.
So when we have to preserve the culture nuances, we should not rely basically on AI. More we should rely on human
I
to
would
make
say
those.
there are two elements. Either you could rely on humans or you could train AI better to know the cultural insights
That also
better.
needs to be done
Yes.
through a human.
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to understand more about generative AI. How
Sure.
generative AI augment human creativity in storytelling without diluting the emotional resonance.
Sure. I think it's similar to with the example that we were just speaking about, right? I mean, generative AI, like I said, is the branch which actually helps you create more content. Now, in terms of augmenting human behavior, again, the insights, for example, it can help you dig the insights and analyze data, larger patterns much quickly. The human insights is at the end of the day
Yeah.
humans. You can train generative AI tools like as I was mentioning, Canva Studio, Firefly, etc., to create large creatives at scale. You could also leverage it to train AI to know the cultural insights much better. And then, of course, there are AI tools for amplification. So I think it's complementary behavior with humans in generative AI in creativity. That's the way to go forward. One interesting example, actually, a couple of friends, we were talking about it. One good way marketers can use AI complementary is have your hypotheses and let data and AI help you validate those hypotheses.
Oh, wow, this is super. Yeah.
Versus starting the other way around. Because sometimes what happens is there is analysis paralysis. You have so much data and you
Yeah.
don't know where to get started.
Yeah.
So as the best way you can see insights, start with the right hypotheses and then use AI to validate those hypotheses, to build creatives around those hypotheses and go into the market faster for testing. And that's one way to also think about it.
You talk about analysis paralysis.
Yes.
It's such a real challenge in marketing. So have you seen people or marketing team over relying on AI or data?
Oh, yes, because, every time a shiny tool comes, you're like, oh, everything has to be AI. And like we were speaking about it before the podcast, right? Sometimes you need to know what not to automate as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen a lot of this analysis paralysis. Like sometimes you get so lost in so much data that you don't know, oh, this insight looks, or it's data but not insight.
Yeah.
There is a thin line between data and insight.
Insights, yeah.
So don't get lost in data. I mean, value human interaction, value interaction with your consumers, build hypotheses from them or build hypotheses from the patterns that you're seeing from data, and then go back and validate those hypotheses with data. But yes, analysis paralysis is very bound to happen, and you need to know when to take a step back and really say, all right, how do I complement, like you said, human and AI together?
Yeah. Do you think that there can be a brand can track the impact of AI on long-term equity?
Look, AI is a tool and an enabler. At the end of the day, what you do to build that brand is something that you would actually track from an equity standpoint. So I would say use AI as an enabler to create better brand experiences. And these could be on social, these could be on influencer, these could be experiential, these could be the CRM channels that you're automating. And then you measure that equity. So I would say directly saying how is AI impacting my brand will not be the right way to measure it. It's how AI is driving efficiency in my marketing spend, helping me get more personalized, etc., which reflects in my brand equity measure.
Are we saying that ROI can be driven through AI implication?
Absolutely.
Than the sentiment or the loyalty metrics?
I would say loyalty and sentiment metrics are influenced by what you really do using AI.
Using AI, okay.
But then AI directly, in some cases like performance marketing, can have a direct impact on your ROAS
ROI, yeah.
for that matter, because the optimizations are just much faster than a human can sit in, or LTVs are more predictive, etc. So I would say there is direct and there is indirect impact.
Okay. Now moving on to, there's a lot of marketing and brand building is done through experiential marketing.
Sure.
And we at Flam are all about mixed reality and creating branding immersive experiences. How do you see AI elevating those kind of experiences for marketers and the brands?
It's a very exciting space to be in. Experiential can, be integrated in different parts of the customer journey, if you think about it. Whether it's about educate me on a product that I'm using, whether it's about engage me with the service that I'm currently using, whether it's about help me visualize this, I'm in my living room, I really need to see how this fits, help me shop better. There are so many use cases of experiential now, which I feel have a very exciting space to play in. And AI can actually make those experiences more personal and can also help you really deliver those experiences at scale. And I think that's where AI and experiential at a very good point can come together to really develop hyper-personalized experiences, for example.
I think it delivers more immersive storytelling also to the consumer.
100%.
And informative as well, because one of the use case that we were discussing just now was a QR code on the package, so that it can people are getting into reading ingredients. This becomes one of the use case which is more immersive for the consumer.
Absolutely. In fact, I was thinking of an example right before I came in. Now, imagine if I'm at a retail store and the experience actually remembers who I am, knows my size, knows my preferences.
Wow.
And the experience basically tells me, hey, these are the 5 things in store today that you probably can try.
Yeah.
I can visualize them using an MR experience. And then it helps me guide to where exactly can I find that. So it's basically having a personal shopper at your fingertips, which used to be such a luxury concept before.
It is a luxury even today.
Yeah. But with MR, you can really imagine someone who doesn't have a lot of time or just wants to have a more personalized experience when it comes to shopping. The possibilities are so many. And this is what you mean when you say a personalized immersive experience using MR. I mean, I feel this could be a retail game changer.
I think we are going to pitch this idea to one of our clients now.
You should.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
When you think of mixed reality and AI, what excites you the most? Or the ability to scale content or the ability to personalize the experience?
Sure. Look, there are possibilities in both, I feel. But I feel, given my passion for the example that I shared before, I think more than scale, I feel that there is a lot of potential in personalization. Now, you can be hyper-personalized in the MR experience, given that you can have that personalized data of the consumer. And that's where I feel like personalization probably is a bigger bet. Scale would be hygiene in a way, and then personalization becomes the bigger bet. But how do you deliver that well? I think that's where the conversation will happen.
Yeah, amazing, exciting. Now I want to put some light on, I want to talk about building the right team for the AI world.
Yes.
So what kind of upskilling matters now beyond prompt engineering to make your team AI ready?
Sure. Now, if you think about CMOs, at the end of the day, I think beyond prompt engineering, the CMOs need to understand how they can really integrate AI into their workflows. And I think there is no right where or a right point to start. You need to think about where your biggest pain points are.
Yeah.
If I take a step back, I would say there are 3 big things that you need to think about when you start building AI-ready teams. Number 1, upskill your team. I mean, I think make sure that they know what is AI, what is generative AI, and have some idea of the tools that are available to them to be able to move faster in this world. Number two is really look at the right marketing stack that you want to build. And you don't need to have 100,000 tools or every tool that you need available. If your team is working in SEO, probably they need more copy-heavy tools where you can drive the most efficiency. Your performance marketing is anyways enabled through third-party publishers that you're
Yes,
actually
absolutely.
working with.
Yeah.
So I would say, or if you are a brand which has high risk on brand reputation, let's say a pharma company, etc., then you probably need to invest in AI more in terms of upper funnel. So I would say it's really understanding. The second point is really understanding what problem do you really want to solve and building the right marketing stack. The number three for me is really looking at your data, which is actually at the core of it. Clean up your data, because garbage in is garbage out at the end of the day. So tag your data, unify your data, clean up your data is very important. So taking a step back, really upskill your teams to understand AI. Number two, find really the right pain points where you really want optimization and build the right marketing stack. Number three is really looking at unifying your data so that you're able to use all of that very efficiently. And then encourage experimentation. I mean, sometimes the experimentation actually comes from the fringes. The younger most brand manager in your team can actually probably would be more AI forward than some of the more senior members in your team. So
Yeah.
just encourage experimentation at the end of it. Don't wait for a 2-year roadmap.
Do you think that we need a AI strategist in marketing team, or is it really happening right now?
I have seen chief AI officers being
It's already
deployed.
there.
It is there. It is there. But I would say not in the marketing teams per se. These are organization-wide initiatives.
Okay.
What marketing does need to do is be a part of these workforces or sort of core groups wherein marketing, product, data, MarTech all come together and see what could be the applications of AI. I don't think there is merit in every team sort of having chief AI marketing officer, chief product AI officer. I think if there is one person in larger teams which has a broader view, creates this sort of like a multifunctional, quick acting team, which has some AI literacy, to be able to then have the right tools across the organization push for adoption is the way to go forward. I don't see a chief AI marketing officer, for example. You could have someone who is AI literate to help you build a roadmap.
Okay.
But I feel not exclusively for marketing is what I feel.
Now, coming to the Coursera angle, how do you see the Coursera seeing AI shift? The marketeers wants to learn. What are the courses which have become suddenly very hot in Coursera?
Oh, yes. So Coursera's foray into AI really became a Harvard Business School case study recently. And there were many touch points that AI was really integrated, not just marketing. So as I was mentioning earlier, one was really looking at translations and how do we scale them much faster.
Okay.
So 17 languages, Greek, Arabic, Spanish, etc. 5,000 courses went very quickly to market at the back of ML translations. The second bit was really having a coach to help you navigate the courses, to really help you build summaries out of those courses, be a buddy that you can practice with, etc. And that helps you create a more immersive learning experience, because learning is better when you have an online, always have this problem that I'm left on my own to learn. Coursera also did these generative AI academies that they put together, which is related to your second question on which are the courses which are very popular. It was basically putting together everything that you need to be generative AI ready or AI ready. So there were Gen AI academies which were actually built around it. And there was a big push on AI literacy across the organization.
Okay.
Marketers were using tools, AI tools for copy. Marketers were using AI tools for creative generation. And this entire push on AI literacy happened much faster, I would say, at Coursera.
So the tools that you are, the courses that you are mentioning, are these for marketers?
So I would say fundamentally to understand AI, there are fundamental courses like AI for everyone or generative AI for everyone that not just a marketer, anyone could take, and it will give you good basic understanding.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to being a marketer, there are very specific courses on prompt engineering. for marketers, or there are very specific courses on integrating AI into your marketing workflows, which are by one of the topmost universities. I mean, like you have from Virginia, from Darden, etc., that you can actually go on Coursera and find them. So there are quite a few available. I would say start with the basics on AI for everyone, generative AI for everyone, and then go from there, specifically going into marketing.
Okay. Are there any tools that you would want to recommend to marketers that they can use in everyday's life?
There are many tools.
Just
I
top
would
5
say,
tools everyone should use.
yeah, and I would say depending like on your where do you see the pain point. For creative generation, for example, a lot of teams are using Midjourney for concepts and mockups. There is Canva Studio, as we mentioned, for creative. There is Adobe Firefly, which has come up with a new way of really how you can use cultural triggers and then have automated creative experiences. Then there are tools like Brandwatch, Blackbird AI, which are more for insights and slightly more top of the funnel.
Yeah.
Then there are tools bottom of the funnel for conversion, right? If you take a look at CRM, there is Blueshift, there is CleverTap. Then if you take a look at performance marketing, the popular ones that most people are using are Meta Advantage Plus and PMax. So the tools, these are a few tools which really come top of mind because they are used a lot. But there are many more depending on where you really see the pain point to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how do you see the future of AI in marketing?
The future's already here, I would say. Single founder running 100 crore business is not science fiction anymore.
Yeah.
A single brand manager thinking from insights to let me validate it, to let me create some concepts and go into testing faster is already the reality. Generating creatives at scale for performance marketing and testing and iterating them, using CRM to be very personalized, the reality is already here. So I would say AI is not the future, it's already here. Just get AI ready.
Do you think the next breakout D2C brand can come entirely through AI?
Yes, absolutely. Totally. I can see a single founder then looking at insights, creating copy, creating creative, and running a 100 crore brand. I haven't seen that yet, but I would say it's not science fiction. It can come very soon.
Okay. In a world where AI is handling so many things, what does creative courage look like for a marketer today?
Creative courage at the end of the day is, again, taking bold risks. Because look, the same AI that you have access to, 5 other brand managers are going to have access to.
Okay.
So you can have 5 different variation, but the creative courage means you use your humor, intuition, and gut and say, this is what I'm going to bet on. Because mediocrity won't fly anymore. How would you create brand differentiation if everyone's using the same creative?
Yeah.
So I would say courage would come from human gut, pushing for better creative quality, using AI as an assistant, but not your one and all.
As an enabler, basically,
Absolutely.
not a replacement.
Absolutely.
What is one piece of advice you would want to give to marketers who are seeing us today?
I would say get yourself upskilled. I mean, understand what's AI, what's generative AI. Think of all that is available to you. Don't wait for someone to tell you to get started. Just get started. But please do not get into analysis paralysis. Use your gut. Use hypotheses. And AI can be an enabler, and you're unstoppable if you do so.
Thank you, Goodies. It was such an insightful session. I'm sure whoever is seeing us today have learned a lot from this.
I mean, I really hope so. And thank you so much for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you it was a pleasure to learn about Flam as well. So yeah, looking forward to more experiential, great experiences for consumers.
Thank you so much. Hopefully, this episode would have given you a lot more insight on AI and use of AI in marketing stack today. For more such insightful episodes, stay tuned to Flamcast.